and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Alyssa and I'm an American living in Rome, Italy. I'm out here on my sunny balcony today and I wanted to talk to you about how I got my student visa for 2021. So if you are watching this video because you're trying to get a student visa or some kind of visa to move to Italy, first of all, let's take a collective deep breath. It's really not as hard as you think. So this video might only be helpful if you're also an American citizen, because I'm just going to be talking about my personal experience. So one of the first things to do would be to look up which Italian consulate is for your state's jurisdiction. For me, I lived in Oregon, and so my nearest Italian consulate was in San Francisco. Once you find that out, you're going to want to go to their website. The website should have a lot of helpful links and information for you and a list of things that you're going to need to provide to them. So real quick, I will share with you the list of things that I needed to provide for my visa application. So the first thing that you'll need is your passport. Make sure that your passport is valid for at least 3 months after the last day of your planned stay, and you need to have some blank pages available. You're going to want to photocopy the page that has all of the personal information, and you're also going to be mailing in your passport. So plan your travel accordingly. If you don't get your passport back in the mail in time, that could be a huge problem. So make sure you plan well in advance of before you're leaving. If you're not already a U.S. citizen, you're going to need to provide some kind of proof of permanent residency. And if you are a U.S. citizen, you're going to have to provide proof of residence, so like a driver's license, but not the actual license, just a photocopy of it. I actually sent 2 photocopies of this because the website wasn't very clear. The wording on what they needed was kind of confusing, so I just sent 2 photocopies. You're going to have to send in 1 completed application form. You'll also need some photos in the correct size. You need to send in an application fee in a cashier's check or money order in the exact amount, and you can find that information updated on your consulate's website. The next thing you need is the complete documentation on your course, and that can be in several different forms, so like an official acceptance letter. You're also going to need this item when you arrive in Italy to go to the local questura or the police office to register for your permit to stay, and this letter has to be officially signed by the school administrator and in Italian. The next thing you need is a financial guarantee. So if you're providing for yourself, you have to go to your bank and request an official letter on the bank letterhead of your bank balance, and you can find the information on how much money you need to prove that you have on the consulate website, because it could be different for everyone. Or if your parents are financially responsible for you, you can have them sign an affidavit saying that they will be financially responsible for you during your stay in Italy. The next thing you'll need is proof of health insurance, and I didn't have American health insurance. I signed a declaration saying that I would purchase Italian health insurance once I arrived here, and that's what I did. This is also a really important document that you'll need because you need it in order to apply for your permit to stay. The next thing you need is proof of suitable lodging, so that can be provided through your school if you're staying in a dorm, or if you're staying with a family member or a friend, they can sign a declaration of hospitality for you saying that you're going to be staying with them, or if you can provide proof of an apartment you're renting or something like that. You're going to need a declaration for mailing passports. You'll also need a self-addressed prepaid U.S. Postal Service priority or express mail envelope so that your passport can be mailed back to you. Okay, so that was all the stuff on the list that I needed to collect in order to apply for the visa. This isn't my first visa I've had to Italy. So back in the day, you used to have to actually go to an appointment and have a little interview in front of officials at the consulate. But because of COVID in 2021, I didn't have to go in person, and they let me just mail everything in, which is super convenient because I would have to go from Portland to San Francisco in order to do this appointment in the middle of COVID, and I wasn't looking forward to that. So it was really convenient for me. You're gonna have to get a lot of these documents notarized, so make sure you pay attention to which ones will need a notary signature, and also just make photocopies of everything, like multiple copies of everything, because you're gonna need it for the application, you're gonna need it while you're traveling, you're gonna need it for the application of the permit to stay once you arrive in Italy. It's just smart to have a lot of copies of everything because you just never know. Also, for me, my student visa was for me to study Italian, and in order to get a study visa to study Italian, there's some weird rule that I had to prove that I have already previously studied Italian. And so in order to get that document, I actually had to take an online course with my same school for them to prove that I've previously studied. So again, make sure you apply for everything well in advance of the time you're leaving, because you never know what you're gonna have to do in order to have this last document or do this last minute thing. So it can take a lot of time and planning, and just make sure you're organized and ahead of things. Once you actually mail everything in and it arrives at the consulate, the website says that your visa will be issued within 7 to 15 working days. And honestly, mine arrived really quickly. I was very surprised by that because the last time I applied for a visa, it took forever. Again, you just never know. Make sure you give yourself time just in case. So the dates of your visa are the days that you're allowed to stay in the country for your course, but you're also allowed, as a US citizen, you're allowed 90 days on top of that. So you could go before or stay after an additional 90 days in total. So that's what I did. I came in the summertime and my course started at the end of October. So I've already been here 90 days before my class started, and as soon as the last day on my visa and my 90 days are up, I have to be out of the country. So make sure you plan your trip like that, with 90 days either before or after your time here if you wish to stay longer. And the last thing I wanted to mention in this video is that as soon as you arrive here, I think you have about 10 days upon your arrival to get these documents in order and go to a post office to apply for your permesso di soggiorno, which is your permit to stay. And again, you're going to need your health insurance, your proof of your course, and you're going to have to pay for a few other things, but basically you're applying for your permit to stay, and that's a whole nother story, a whole nother stressful thing you have to do. And I'm going to be making a video about that process soon, because next week I'm going to the immigration office, so I'll tell you all about that in a future video if you're also going through this process. But that's all for applying for a study visa in 2021 as an American citizen. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos about my life living in Italy. And stay tuned for that other video about the permesso di soggiorno process. It will be coming out in a few weeks, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends.